Hi, Chef Joe with Healthy Kids Inc. and today we're going to be making a 3-cheese cauliflower pizza. So first things first, we have a medium saute pan heating up just over about low heat. By the time that we do everything else we need to do, it'll be up to temp and ready to go. We've got some spinach, we have some slivered garlic, that's going to go into our toppings. We have our 3-cheese blend, we have an egg which we beat, we have some ricotta, we have a little bit of minced garlic, some milk, oregano, parsley, salt, pepper, the works. And we already have steamed this cauliflower. You could cook it in boiling water. Any which way you want to cook your cauliflower, you can. We went with the steaming method because it's quick. It's easy to get done. We let it cool slightly. It's still rather hot, so you want to be careful here because we're putting it in a food processor. It's going to be the easiest way to do this, but if you have an old-fashioned food mill with a crank, ricing it would work just as well, or you can finely chop it by hand. But we're actually doing an interesting thing here and using the cauliflower as the crust for our pizza. So we have our oven preheated to 475, and we're actually going to pre-bake our crust to kind of get it nice and crunchy before we layer in the toppings and then continue to bake it. So we want to go ahead and process this cauliflower until it's small enough to work with. So I'm just going to pulse it because you don't want to make like a smooth mixture. You really want to kind of keep it coarse. So we're just pulsing it. And that's really what we're looking for, are grains like that. Just enough to kind of break it up. This is what a ricer would do. It would really push it through the fine holes. All right, now to our bowl with the shredded cheese, we're going to add our processed cauliflower. All right. Just want to lightly kind of mix this together. We're going to add this beaten egg. Right in. Okay, I'm going to add a pinch of salt, a couple of cracks of black pepper. I'm going to take an opportunity to add some of our dried herbs here. I'm going to add a pinch of oregano and the same dried parsley. Okay, I'm going to bring this together. Really want to incorporate the egg throughout the mixture. All right, now we're ready to press this into our pizza pan. We're going to bake it at 475 for about 10 to 12 minutes while we work on our toppings. Alright, I'm just using a rubber spatula to kind of work this out. You really want to kind of make sure that you have an even thickness throughout. I'm going to leave a little bit of room on the edges here. Now if you find that maybe you think your mixture is a little too wet, you could add just a little bit of flour to it. Maybe start with a tablespoon or so if you feel it's necessary. I'm not feeling that way right now, but I know certain circumstances you may end up with a really, really wet mixture, and in that case, that would be an appropriate remedy. Okay, so once you've got a little bit of a basic shape started, you can already kind of see the pizza crust kind of forming in your mind here. Okay, I'll take my hands and really kind of press it out. Okay, I'm even going to try to press it out about as thin as you can, but you don't want it too thin so that it just scorches but you don't want it so thick that it doesn't cook at all. And again, leaving some room on the edge. And we are ready to pop this into our preheated 475-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes or until it's crisp. All right, I'm gonna give this just a little drizzle of oil. So we're gonna pop this in. All right, we're ready to pull our cauliflower crust from the oven. You can see it's getting nice and golden brown. I'm gonna take a spatula, just kind of make sure that it comes free. It's still just a little soft. You've got some nice crunch on the bottom, a little bit on top, but you got a little bit of soft in the center, which is okay. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit though, and it'll firm up a little bit more. So we're gonna set it here in a warm area to just kind of come to room temp, and then it will firm up a little bit more as we continue to work on the rest of the toppings. Got our crust setting aside here. We've got some slivered garlic. I'm gonna go in with it first. Get that working. All right, just as you start to see just a little bit of browning going on, you can add your spinach. A few cracks of black pepper. This is going to be very quick. I don't want my spinach to completely wilt. Gonna go ahead and kill the heat. You don't want your garlic to burn. This way, all of the spinach is kind of coated in that garlicky oil. You can set that aside. So now we've got a bowl, and we have minced garlic. I'm going to go in with the minced milk. We have ricotta. More of our 3-cheese blend. Just want to mix all this together. Okay, so now we've got our crust, which is set aside. It's firmed up. I'm going to put our cheese on, and I'm just going to kind of do it in spoonfuls, kind of very rustically. Just kind of spread it about. Doesn't have to be exact. Just leaving some room on the edge. Using the back of my spoon to kind of spread it out a little bit. All right, again, you can see we've left room on the edge for our crust. I'm gonna pop this back into the oven now for about 5 minutes or until the cheese kind of melts, and then what we're going to do is top it with the spinach, and then we're good to go. So we're going to pop this back into the oven for just a few minutes until this cheese melts. We'll pull it out, top it with the spinach, and we'll show you what that looks like in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're ready to pull our crust back out. Cheese getting kind of nice and melty. Didn't want to let it melt all the way to the point of like oozing and running all over the place. We still want to kind of keep it neat on top of the crust. I'm just going to take my spoon. You can see it's actually has melted. It's just kind of holding its shape, and that's really what I'm looking for. Don't want it to melt too much. So now I'm going to go ahead and top it with our wilted spinach. Nice garlicky, peppery wilted spinach and slivers of garlic. No real rhyme or reason, just kind of putting it where you think someone will want to take a bite. All right, and there you have it. So we're gonna plate this up and we'll show you the finished product in just a couple of minutes.